Welcome to The Pulse, and we're doing something special today. I'm talking to somebody on today's show that I feel like is like the sister I've never met, because The Pulse comes on Fox Soul right before one of the many shows that Claudia Jordan hosts on Fox Soul. She's done so much in her career. We just wanted to talk to her, and she joins us. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm claiming family because we're Fox Soul family, right?
I like it. My birthday's April 12th, so I'll tell you my size. It's cousin, so you can send me my gifts.
Oh, it's like that? We became family quick.
Real quick.
Jump right into it. We appreciate you doing that. You got like, what, 2 shows now, 3 shows now? They're keeping you busy on Fox Soul.
2, and plus I'm also the executive producer of Turned Out with T.S. Madison. I brought that show to the network, and I'm the EP on that. And T.S. Madison is transgender.
Yeah.
And to me, so much more than that. I look at T.S. Madison as an amazing talk show host that just happens to be transgender. And I feel like Fox Soul was amazing with, being open-minded and kind of breaking through that glass ceiling a bit, because you don't really see that. And I'm very proud of that show as well.
Is that part of the reason why? Because we'll talk a little bit about your long journey to get to where you are. You've done a lot. That's what I mean by the long journey. But is that part of the reason why you wanted to be a part of Fox Soul, like just expressing creativity and different ideas?
So I was working in radio in Dallas, and, terrestrial radio is very limiting. There's a whole list of words you cannot say, and, especially down in the South in the Bible Belt. So I love being edgy and expressive and honest. And not that it wasn't a good gig, because it was, but they ended my show and they canceled it. And a couple days before that, I saw Mike Hill on Fox Soul. I saw a clip and I said, I would love to do a show like that in Texas. I wish there was something like that here, a studio. Mm-hmm. And lately I've been so up on speaking things into existence and manifesting. Like, it's so powerful, your words. So I said it, and the day I got fired or my show got canceled, I hopped on a plane, went to LA and tried out for this other show. While I was there, Mike Hill said, hey, can you fill in for me for 2 days at Fox Soul? I'm like, what are the odds?
Okay.
I go there, and I'm still living in Dallas. I'm in LA. I go to the studio. I fill in for 2 days. It went really well. And at the third day, when I was about to leave, James DuBose came up to me and said, hey, I need you back here on Monday. I said, I don't live here. I live in Dallas. He said, make it happen. And we've been making it happen ever since.
It's interesting you mentioned James DuBose. I've only met him through different conversations. For people who don't know, he's running Fox Soul, general manager of Fox Soul. But that sounds very much like him. Like, I had similar conversations. Here's what we want to do. Now, what do we have to do to make it happen?
He's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
So I figured it out. And I was commuting from Dallas to LA on my dime every week and getting hotel rooms to show how dedicated I was. And then the pandemic hit, and we were forced to do it remotely. But it was a blessing in disguise, because all the shows blew up during the pandemic. We experienced, I think, 4,700% growth.
Okay.
I believe when I started with Fox Soul, we were at 200,000 views, and we are now over 80 million.
Oh, okay. So then believing in yourself and speaking it into existence is something that you are very happy that you did with Fox Soul.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and say at least 10 more years, 15, 20 years there, and 10xing our viewership.
Okay, look, I'm on the team now, so you keep speaking it. I'm going to go ahead and double down on it, and all that. We're going to work together to bring it into existence.
You guys can take anything from this interview. It is that. Like, I'm always for the underdog, because I am one. Okay. And I think that mentality comes from being an athlete and just kind of believing in the impossible. Like, you know what gives me the audacity to think I could beat all these other people? I'm just going to have to believe in myself and just say, you know what, I'm going to figure it out.
I was reading about your early life, Junior Olympics, All-American sprinter, like talking about the athlete side of it. And then you did, pageants, and won pageants, and then did modeling, and then did TV shows. Like, that whole speaking it into existence and working for it has been your life.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't born great at anything. And I had to really work on it, like I was okay. Like, track, I was pretty good right away. But again, it's a sport where there's only one winner, and you have to really, really believe in yourself. And I think that carries on to the entertainment business, because entertainment business and some sports, it's kind of like winning the lottery when you win. You know, like what makes you think you're going to beat 500 other people for this one spot? I don't know. I just do.
So you did the track, you were an athlete, you did the modeling, you were in music videos and what have you. You did reality TV. How did you transition all of that into I want to do media and like have these takes, you know, and influence kind of society? You're an influencer in media.
You know, since I was in eighth grade, I remember being in class and I remember other kids in my school saying, "You're funny." I'm like, I am. I didn't think so. But everybody in my family was funny. Like my grandmother had a dirty mouth. She was super hilarious and very honest and had a good heart. All my cousins were funny. So I never thought I was anything special. Like I'm really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And never in a million years thought I'd be in radio, but I was going to be a biology major in college. I used to read encyclopedias every night. I had chemistry sets. I would always go to rivers and lakes and capture turtles and bring them home and put the water under a microscope.
Okay.
I know. I went to college and I said, there was a meeting at the newspaper, this college newspaper. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. And then radio station, I'm like, I'm going to try this. And I ended up creating the first hip hop show that my school ever had, Baldwin Wallace. I changed my major to communications and broadcasting. And then kind of like one thing led to the next. I didn't think it'd be a career though. And then I ended up on a radio show with Jamie Foxx because I did a commercial with him for Coors Light. And he was like, "You're funny." And I'm like, "Wait, Jamie Foxx, I'm funny." I would tell these stories. And he put me on his satellite radio show.
Yeah.
And I told a story one day about an ex not being able to get a part in this movie. And he was like, "You can never not be here. You have to be here every day." And that was what gave birth to my radio career.
One of the things I really enjoy about doing this show and talking to people like yourself is you hear all of these stories that you never would have thought was behind these kind of journeys. And the common thread that I get from people is this: I just didn't give up. I just kept going.
I see a lot of people that have talent and they just don't have that thing that drives them. And I think to me, that's one of the most tragic things that could be. Like you have all the ingredients you need to be great, but you don't have that thing that says you can do it. Mm-hmm. I tell my friends, I'm like, I'm way less talented than a lot of these people that are out there, but I really believe in it. And I want it. So with that being said, like, I feel like the person that has that belief and is willing to work hard, like I will crisscross the country twice in like 3 days if it's to go get a check and go work or, you know, make an appearance or speak to some kids. I just don't say no, you know, because I'm like, there's going to be a time when that phone's going to stop ringing and no one's going to ask me anymore. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I can.